Triple Ice, Safety Goggles, Close Combat, Gunk Shot, Tera Poison, Annihilape, and Tera Grass Life Orb. Woodhammer Mimikyu got second place at the most recent Japan National Championship. We're going to be trying out this team and see how it performs. This team got second at Japan Nationals with Triple Ice and Tera Poison Annihilape. The team has a lot of speed and priority to fight against Tailwind teams with a lot of firepower with Chi and Pow Sword of Ruin. First, Mimikyu also has a lot of utility in stall matchups and common ones like Dundozo teams. Even after playing with this team for a bit, it still is a little hard to figure out, and I have found that I have played a lot of game plans differently as I don't bring the Chi and Pow as much. So if you would like to check out the original report from the creator alongside the details of the team, they will be linked in the description. Bronzong, Volcarona, Tyranitar, Gyarados, Sandy Shocks, and Fluttermane. This looks really similar to the team that got top 8 at the Japan Nationals. I don't remember if there was a Sandy Shocks though, but one thing that's really good is our Annihilape. Our Annihilape does pretty well against most of the team that my opponent has. If we had Drain Punch, it might have been a little bit better, but still not terrible. Volcarona definitely is probably one of the scariest Pokemon I'm going to have to deal with. We do have an offensive Arcanine, which is pretty good against the team because we have Wall Charge to hit the Gyarados. Sandy Shocks is probably like the big Pokemon I'm really concerned about. I kind of like the lead of the... how do I want to approach this? I don't really like Chi and Pow in this matchup. It helps against Sandy Shocks and maybe Tyranitar, but I don't really think it's worth it too much otherwise. I like Baxcalibur a lot. I like Arcanine quite a bit. Iron Bundle's pretty tempting. I don't know if I want to go with that. I also could lead the... Actually, I really like the lead of Annihilape plus Baxcalibur. If they lead Arcanine, I get the Defiant boost immediately with my Annihilape. And if not, that means Bax is like pretty open up. I like Mimikyu for Shadow Sneak pressure into the Fluttermane. And then I like Arcanine for the Intimidate in the back as a swap. I don't think that Iron Bundle was too bad in this matchup either, but I'm not exactly 100% sure if I want to go for it. Mainly because the Bronzong, if it gets Trick Room up, makes the Iron Bundle a lot weaker in what it can really do. We're going to be under pressure with like a lot of Rock Slides. So that's why I kind of want to bring Arcanine and Annihilape with the Intimidate, and then I like Mimikyu for the Shadow Sneak. We're going to see an interesting lead here of the... Okay, the... Fluttermane and Volcarona. Booster energy on the Fluttermane. Going to be that special attack, which is not too surprising. Okay. We have an Assault Vest on our Baxcalibur. I don't think this is that bad of a lead here. I can go for a Tera of one of these Pokemon, and I do want to go for a Tera. The question is, who do I want to Tera? I think I really want to protect the Annihilape, and Tera just ground Earthquake. Just do a bunch of damage to these Pokemon. And I really like that option because they really don't have the best offensive capabilities against my Excalibur. If they go for a fire move, they can, you know, activate my Thermal Exchange, and then I'm 100% nuking them. And if they go for... They can't burn my Excalibur either. This also avoids Rage Powder. So I think this is a pretty strong option. We're going to protect our Annihilape and see how this turn is going to play out. We're going to see a Moonblast come out straight into Excalibur, which makes sense. Still does a lot of damage. They do go for the Willis, which I was a little bit worried about, which is why I went for this play here specifically of the Earthquake here into my opponent's team. And yeah, this is not a bad start. We're going to get a huge amount of damage with this Terra Ground Max Attack Animate Earthquake, which doesn't knock out Fluttermane. Close, but not enough. All right. So that's not too bad. I do want to go out into my Arcanine, I think. Yeah, Arcanine's pretty good here. And then I think I just want to go for an Ice Shard attempt into the Fluttermane. They could protect, switch out, or if they have Rage Powder, they go for the Rage Powder, which I think any of them pretty much realistically is okay. I'm more worried about like a Moonblast into Annihilape. I need Annihilape for the Tyranitar specifically. It's going to be really hard to deal with the Tyranitar otherwise. So I think I'd rather just like make sure that I have safety measures, go out into my Arcanine, have the Extreme Speed pressure as well into that Volcarona, because Extreme Speed, if they Rage Powder here, I might be putting that Volcarona into range of potential Extreme Speed from the Max Attack Arcanine. We're going to see the Volcarona switch out actually, which is really good for me. Out into the Bronzong. So this works out perfectly because my Arcanine double actually is amazing here. And we're going to see Fluttermane protect, but that is A-okay for me. That is A-okay for me. I will 100% take that. All right. Beautiful. So we get our Arcanine in, and it's not threatened at all. Flare Blitz is really good into the Bronzong right now, unless they Tera, which I am kind of expecting to Tera. I don't really see a reason why I should really anticipate anything though. I think I just go for a Flare Blitz into the Bronzong slot, because if they don't, they take a lot of damage. They might get knocked out depending on the spread, or they're forced to Tera, which means Tyranitar can't Tera, which is also pretty nice. So just gonna go for a safe Ice Shard. If it catches like what, Tyranitar or maybe the Gyarados on the switch in, I'm okay with it. I do a decent amount. I get Flare Blitz damage still into the Bronzong. We are going to see that Flutter Mane retreat. I'm thinking Tyranitar might be coming out. If it's Volcarona, that's fine too. Yeah, like if it's Volcarona, it's not threatening too much here. So I'm all right with that. We are going to find out a Tera on their Bronzong, which is a-okay for me. And this is going to be the Tera, what, Fire? Water? Fire. All right. So they have Tera Fire, which is okay. That's probably a harder Tera to deal with, I think. Ice Shard going to come out into Volcarona. Street Speed's going to be pretty close here. Flare Blitz going to come out into the Bronzong, do a decent amount, but not too bad. We're going to see Trick Room. Trick Room does come out. All right. I mean, I think Excalibur is still a really safe position. So I think I'm just going to go for attacks. Extreme Speed in the Volcarona might pick up the knockout, might. But I don't think I'm under heavy constant pressure from these Pokemon. Let's see here. I wonder, the Bronzong, if it has Iron Defense, is the only thing I'm really scared of, because I brought all physical attackers, I suppose. But we will go for a Flare Blitz, I think, in the Volcarona, and let's just go for a Glaive Rush into the Bronzong and just get as much damage as we possibly can. If it is going to be the Iron Defense set, I mean, I do have at least... Okay, it is Iron Defense. All right, so we do get to find out. If it is Iron Defense, we still have the Mimikyu with Curse. That's still like a factor that I can use. Flare Blitz is going to come out. Annihilape is also immune. We do get Flare Blitz off. The Volcarona has some speed, which I'm not surprised by. So we are able to outspeed it with Arcanine, get the KO. And now we get the Glaive Rush off into Bronzong, able to chip it, because it's not leftovers. I think it's probably Safety Goggles, which makes it a lot easier to deal with. So let's find out who to bring out. Tyranitar? Sandy Shock's revealed as the last Pokemon. All right. Was not expecting Sandy Shocks to be the last one. All right. So I think I'm just going to go for Protect with Arcanine. This is probably Earth Power and Body Press, or this is just going to be Protect Sandy Shocks and Body Press. It's one of the two. I 100% want to Ice Shard to Sandy Shocks. I get the damage that I need. And if they protect, then so be it. I want to see speed tiers if they do protect here. They don't, so I am able to get an Ice Shard off into Sandy Shock. Still a pretty impressive amount. We're going to see that Body Press come out into the Excalibur. Does pick up that knockout. I am a bit of a frail Excalibur, but a-okay. Now Mimikyu Shadow Sneak plus Extreme Speed looks pretty dang good here for the end game. We're going to see Earth Power going to come out into the Arcanine, but at this point... I could go out into either one. I do need to save Mimikyu. I need to just make sure Mimikyu... I don't need to beat the Bronzong since it doesn't have recovery, as long as it's not rest. I just got to make sure I have Shadow Sneak pressure for the Mimic. I need to make sure I have pressure for the Flutter Mane with Shadow Sneak, because it is important for my Annihilape endgame. So we will bring out the Mimikyu. We're going to go for... I want to say my best play is actually to go for Extreme Speed into the Sandy Shocks. It is Extreme Speed into Sandy Shocks. How many turns of Trick Room? 2 turns of Trick Room. I want to build up Rage Fist damage, so I think I'm going to go back into Annihilape. The reason is because if they protect the Sandy Shocks, I get to bait the Protect, and I get to build up Rage Fist at the same time. If they attack, they're going to be putting Shadow Sneak range anyway, so that's not too bad. Yeah, like exactly. They protect here because they're worried about Extreme Speed and the Shadow Sneak double up, which is what I considered. And now I can still go for the Extreme Speed. The Trick Room is wearing out soon. They actually go for Body Press and Arcanine, which is smart of them. Okay. I'm able to heal it with the Berry. But yeah, this is still pretty dang good, I think. Because I'm just going to go for an Extreme Speed into the Sandy Shocks. And I'm also going to go for the Rage Fist into the Sandy Shocks as well. I wonder if the Sandy Shocks is fast or not. That's my only question. I have no idea if it's fast or not. We'll see. So we saw Trick Room. We saw Iron Defense. We saw Body Press. I want to say the last move should be Gyro Ball to hit Flutter Manes. But we'll see. Gonna go for the extreme speed, and the Sandy Shocks does bring it pretty low. We are gonna see an Iron Defense once again, but the Iron Defense really is not coming into play for them. So that's all right. Let's see if it's gonna be all right. So I am faster. I am able to get the Rage Fist off into the Sandy Shocks, pick up that knockout. All right. This could be a little bit awkward, I suppose. I still think Mimikyu can ends up winning this end game, but let's see. Flutter Mane's gonna come in. We don't know its item, I'm pretty sure. No, we saw booster energy earlier, so should I protect? So I would like to go for maybe a Flare Blitz wall charge here. I feel like Flutter Mane should protect, but I don't know what the Bronzong does is the concern here. I don't want to switch in Mimikyu and risk its disguise, because if I do that, I do lose the game 100%. I think my play is just to Flare Blitz the Flutter Mane. And I think it's Gunk Shot the Bronzong, because if you're attacking with the Flutter Mane, it should be into the Arcanine. Yeah, so they protect here. I don't have to waste my Annihilape Protect, which is nice. And I'm able to chip away the Bronzong, which could matter for like a curse endgame for how many shots I need. Gunk Shot does nothing. It's kind of funny hitting the Bronzong with a Gunk Shot. We do go for the Flare Blitz into protect. Is this Body Press or Gyro Ball? Yeah, Body Press and Arcanine. Yeah, like that's completely perfectly fine, right? I'm okay with that trade, because now I can go for Shadow Sneak into the Flutter Mane and pressure it, right? So my only concern is if the Flutter Mane gets a triple protect. If it gets a double, it's dicey, but I can still easily win depending on like what the Bronzong move is. So we're gonna go for a Shadow Sneak here. I don't know if they're always going to go for that double protect, and we're going to go for the Gunk Shot into the Bronzong because we want the recoil. Nice, they didn't go for a double protect, so this should secure the win. The Flutter Mane goes down. Excellent. And it's going to take like 4 hits really for them to actually like be able to secure the game, and that's not enough for them. We're going to go for a Gunk Shot. We can also get poisons here onto the Bronzong, which is what I've been fishing for. As they do have Gyro Ball, they do reveal it into the Mimikyu, but not going to be able to be enough here, because I am going to be able to get a curse endgame into the Bronzong here, and I will go for the Gunk Shot once again. Yeah, because I wasn't hit, so I'm only a 50 base power Rage Fist, so I think they kind of realized that and are going to forfeit. So nice, able to pick up the win there. Curse Mimikyu, really good for the end game. No Tyranitar. I'm surprised they had Trick Room and like set up for Sandy Shocks, because my Pokemon ended up being, even though we're like really invested Pokemon, like Bronzong, Trick Room, which actually did make sense, and it's kind of hard because I brought like, I had what, 5 physical attackers on the team, and they only had Bundle, and I didn't even bring Bundle, but I knew that if I had the Mimikyu still healthy, like a curse is still pretty factor, and I have 2 ghost types, so it's really hard for them to sweep with Bronzong realistically, as long as I preserve it. So I knew that as long as I had an opener, gave me a Flutter Mane because it's the main dealer to my ghost types, felt like it was a pretty safe win condition. Corviknight, Garganacl, Arcanine, Dondozo, Annihilape, plus Glimmora. Definitely a unique team right here. I have Curse on the Mimikyu, which is really good. I need to pick up knockouts quickly, but if I can, I'm in a phenomenal spot. Glimmora is interesting. I do have the Tera Poison on my Annihilape, which is actually pretty good here. Just got to figure out if I can break Glimmora quickly enough. I do want to go with the, I think Iron Bundle is pretty good here, plus the Annihilape as a starter. And then in the back, I want Mimikyu. Do I want backs? That's the question. I don't really need backs. Arcanine might be better for like just a switch in as well as Intimidate. But I think it is probably a safer option. Let's try it out and see how it goes. We also have offensive Arcanine, so we pressure the core more just in case. But I'm not confident in the matchup. So I gotta pick up quick knockouts, and then whatever their stall mode is, I have to curse, because they're probably just gonna set up like Toxic Spice, maybe Yawn situation, so I get poisoned like pretty quickly. They're able to chip me down. And yeah, we're gonna see the Annihilape plus the Glimmora combination. All right, against my Bundle and my Annihilape. So I don't know if they're, I don't think it's Scarf Annihilape on this team. Maybe it is. If it is, that's probably okay with me. I'm just gonna protect my Bundle, and don't know what I really want to do here. Because I don't really... I think I just want to double protect here and scout for like what they're going to go for. Okay, it looks like no Tera. Are we going to see Spiky Shield? Are we going to see Protects? Who's faster first? Glimmora or Annihilape? It is close combat and Annihilape, so that answers something. Toxic into the Annihilape. Okay. They have close combat. I don't really need to bundle too much in the matchup. I think I'm gonna go for a Hydro Pump into Glimmora. I just don't know if this is Sash on the Glimmora or not. I feel like it isn't, but who knows. I think I'm just gonna Tera Poison and go for a Rage Fist immediately into Glimmora as well. My only problem with this play is if there's Sash on the Glimmora or if they Tera here. If they Tera now, this is pretty annoying, but we'll find out. I am gonna Tera with my Annihilape and see if they Spiky Shield. This is really bad, but we'll find out. They don't. Okay, so this is a Hydro Pump. This is pretty good damage. It is Focus Sash, it looks like. All right, so that's not super ideal. If they're Sash usually means timid, I assume, on the Glimmora. Oh, I'm getting both Pokemon poisoned. All right, Annihilape's going to avoid getting poisoned, but still not great. Okay. So we get the Rage Fist off. We're able to pick up the knockout into the Glimmora. So Glimmora goes down. Toxic goes up. Do I care about getting into Toxic Spikes? Everything's getting poisoned anyway, so there's not really a reason to switch anymore. It's probably just go hard into Mimikyu now. If they go hard Corviknight, that's really bad, but we'll see. But I do want to scare them from going for close combats and maybe force a swap. It is Corviknight, all right. I kind of want to close combat the Annihilape. Is that crazy? I think it might be worth. I'm gonna be nuts here. I think it might be Garg in the back. It might be Garg or Arcanine. It's either Garg or Arcanine Dondozo. Close combat from Defiant does so much. I think it's worth going for. I'm going to try it. They're going to switch out Annihilape because they're locked in close combat. This is going to be the... I think that's Garg. Nice. That's really good. So I'm able to get the Wood Hammer off into the Garg and then the close combat. All right, good. So I get rid of the stall. It's still not over. Unfortunately for me, it's still not over, but that is a massive blow to their team. We're able to eliminate the Garg. If it's bulk up Corviknight, this makes it a lot easier, but let's see. Iron Defense. Okay, that's actually not that bad for me. Okay. That's not that bad for me. Okay. Because I have Curse. And if they want to hit Mimikyu, they have to lock themselves into a non-fighting move. But that doesn't change anything. The Ghost type move is probably what I'm more scared of. So we're going to go for Curse with the attack here. And I might have to go on the offensive here, unfortunately. They still have Tera, though. That's what concerns me a lot. I'm going to go for a Rage Fist into the Annihilape. Let's see. There has to be a Tera here, and I have no idea where the Tera is going into. Curse will allow me to get the Corviknight on a timer, which is good, so I always pressure it. I just don't know if the Annihilape's going to go for the Tera or if it's going to be the Corv. I also took a lot of recoil damage, unfortunately. We are going to see a Tera come out. Who is this? It's going to be the Annihilape. Okay, that might not be bad. Tera normal. What? Oh, that's not great. That's not great. Wait, that's fine. That actually works out completely fine. Okay. That's completely fine. All right. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Okay. The Annihilape's trade. We get a Curse off into the Corviknight. Oh my goodness, this is so close for comfort. That's really bad that they went for Iron Defense there. It's on a timer. But I think they knock out my Arcanine in one shot. I don't have Wisp on the Arcanine. If I had Wisp on the Arcanine, well, it depends if they're Lumberry too. Oh, dude, the fact that they have Iron Defense twice there. It might have been better to switch out the Arcanine then, but unfortunate. I want to protect. My aim is for a crit anyway. I think I think my win con double protect into Flare Blitz. Because I might not need a crit. I don't know. That's close. Body press. Poison, but I am not living a +4 Corviknight body press, I'm pretty sure, especially with the poison adding up. All right, we're gonna go for another protect, because if we get it, we might have a shot. Unfortunately, no, that's not the case. I don't think we're living the body press. Wait, they roosted. Okay. Are they gonna try to stall out? This is a mind game between Roost and Fing. I'm just gonna protect again, because if they go for Iron Defense again, then I'll just go for the crit at that point. Okay, I think they're trying to stall out. Or maybe that was a bit too obvious. All right, Arcanine, your max attack. We guarantee crit, knock out the Corviknight. You just got a crit, unfortunately. I might have just needed to switch out the... I wasn't sure if they were going to lock themselves in the final Gambit. That was the problem. I'm going to Flare Blitz the Corv and just pray for the crit. Yeah, that was the problem I had with the Toxic Spikes. The Toxic Spikes were going to add up and I wasn't sure. Like, I didn't have a... Okay, so yeah, even if I had to go for a crit regardless anyway. They are going to go for a Body Press here. Yep. I had to go for a crit regardless. I think maybe if I went for Flare Blitzes earlier on my Protects that were a bit obvious, maybe, because it gives me more chances to crit, but like... That was pretty bad, unfortunately, endgame wise. Palafin, Magnezone, Amoonguss, Fluttermane, Pelipper, Arcanine? What the heck is this team? Okay. So I'm pretty curious on how this is going to perform. I really like the Excalibur here. We have Earthquake coverage, Ice coverage, and Dragon coverage, which is really strong against my opponent's team in general. Iron Bundle is fantastic as well. They do not have good Iron Bundle answers. Annihilape should be broad here, I think. Grass on the Mimikyu is actually not bad here either. I think Arcanine's probably my weakest link. It's useful, but I don't think it's like nearly as important. I do have Wall Charge though, which could help against the Pelipper, I guess. I don't think it's necessary. I do kind of want to lead the Excalibur. Excalibur does threaten a lot here with maybe Annihilape. I mean, I just don't want to be weak to Fluttermane lead. I really don't want to be weak to Fluttermane lead. What's the lead that doesn't get super pressured by Fluttermane? It's probably like the Mimikyu. It's probably Mimikyu Backs, but that's so Arcanine weak. I think it's probably like bundle Mimikyu. I actually like that. Yeah, bundle Mimikyu and then have like Backs in the back with Annihilape. Because I can threaten, if they lead Rain, I have Shadow Sneak into Hydro Pump pressure onto the Fluttermane for the knockout. If they have a Moongus as a lead, I can always Terra Grass the Mimikyu, which actually would be like really strong. I wonder if the Wood Hammer would KO the... I feel like it would KO the Fluttermane, so that might be a pretty decent trade-off here, because Fluttermane, again, is probably the most threatening member, and Bundle is going to be like really important because its damage output's pretty crazy against them. They lead Palafin plus the Magnezone. All right. So this is going to be awkward because this could be a read immediately. I don't know if they're Assault Vest or not. I don't really need my booster energy in this game because unless it's speed booster on their Flutter, I outspeed everything on their team anyway, unless it's Tailwind counted. I think I'm just going to protect my... bundle. Oh man, I wish I kind of led Backs. I do kind of want to go hard into Backs, but the thing is I can't really curse the... this is kind of an awkward spot. I'm going to go into Annihilape. I'm going to go into Annihilape for two reasons. One, the Palafin might go for the Jet Punch Flash Cannon play, which... is pretty risky, I think, against my team. Icy Wind plus Close Combat is super threatening into the Magnezone. I don't know if it's going to be Sturdy or Analytic, but I do want to retreat the Mimikyu because I think Mimikyu is very valuable in this game. I'm going to go Annihilape. It's not nearly as valuable, but still good. But we'll find out. Protect the bundle. Yeah, lead-wise, it wasn't that great. I really would have loved backs. A flip turn. Okay, so they have flip turn. They crit me, which is really annoying, actually. All right. If this is Flutter Mane, this is not good. This is Flutter Mane. This is not good. Depending on like what set it is, of course. Pelipper. Okay. Pelipper is fine. What are they going for with the Magnezone? They go for a Volt Switch to try to get in the bundle back. Okay. So I don't think this is that bad. I have very fast Pokemon. I don't think Freeze Dry in a close combat seems really good in the Magnezone, and I think it is. I don't think the Magnezone will probably have Protect. Close combat, max attack, Annihilape, I think puts on a lot of pressure here. So I'm gonna double up the Magnezone. Of course, this could be Hurricane into bundle, which would not be great, but I think it is a sacrifice I might just have to make here. I have plenty of Palafin answers with the Mimikyu and the Excalibur. The Palafin is just actually pretty annoying itself, but we do have Rage Fist that can at least do a lot. I don't really have too much for the Magnezone. If it goes for a Tera, I'd imagine it's Tera Grass or Tera Water, so that's why I want to Freeze Dry because it might catch him. And we are going to see a Tera on the Magnezone, so let's see if I am correct on my hunches. It is going to be the Tera Grass. Okay. So unless it's Assault Vest, this Freeze Dry in a close combat, I think should KO guaranteed. And if not, at least I got the damage to put in range of Shadow Sneak or Ice Shard. So Freeze Dry going to come out. We also wasted our Tera. And yeah, that doesn't look like Assault Vest. So maybe this KOs its max attack. Yeah, it does KO the Magnezone, which is fantastic actually. Okay, nice. So Magnezone Eliminate is amazing. So I am able to get rid of that massive threat. That massive threat. Perfect. And let's see what the Pelipper went for. Hurricane? Hurricane and Annihilape. Okay, so I get to keep Bundle very healthy, and that's amazing for me. So Bundle is still around. Mimikyu can come in. I could go Backs here. Backs isn't too bad. I do kind of like Backs. I do like Backs a bit more here because Ice Shard is super threatening to them. So let's find out. It is going to be Palafin coming in. Perfect. Pelipper is the main threat. I want to go for Protect with Bundle since I'm not too worried about the Palafin, I think. And I just want to go for a Ice Shard into the Pelipper. You might be thinking, why am I going for Ice Shard? Go for a heavy damage move. The problem is Glaive Rush will make me potentially go down a Wave Crash because I should outspeed the Palafin. And I'm a pretty fail Excalibur, so I don't think that's worth it. I just need to break the Sash on the Pelipper, so I always threaten with Freeze Dry. And then my ally with Bundle can always just like threaten the Palafin with a very heavy hit. So we'll go for Ice Shard. Want to scout for potential Protect there. They go for Close Combat, so that's an interesting one. All right, so they have Close Combat on the Palafin, and this is going to be the Tailwind. All right. Close Combat threaten Bundle Knockout? I feel like it probably does. I mean, my best play here is to just go for the Tera Water, I think. Go for a Freeze Dry into the Palafin and go or into the Pelipper and just go for the Glaive Rush into the Palafin, which is going to do massive amount. If they switch out the Pelipper, I mean, they still are going to be taking a bunch of damage in the future. So Arcanine going to come in. So good play on their part. So they get Intimidate off. All right. They don't have the best answers to Backs, but Arcanine is pretty dang scary. Close Combat will do an okay amount. I am probably going down to Jet Punch plus Freeze Dry, which is a concern. I gotta watch out for that. We bring out the Tera Water on the Bundle. Surprised it was Arcanine as the back. I really thought it would be potentially the Flutter Mane, but Freeze Dry gonna come out on Arcanine. I'm faster than the Palafin. Close Combat gonna come out. This shouldn't do 2 what? That Choice Bandit? That did way more damage than it should have. What? I mean, that Choice Bandit, that did so much. I guess the Flip Turn should have indicated, but I thought because it was a crit, I was like, okay, maybe that's just like Mystic Water and that's just how much damage it does. Because I'm also like a frail, I'm also frail on my Annihilape, so that's what I expected. But oh boy, that is banded Palafin. It isn't max attack or max speed though. We know that at least. So my Shadow Sneak should always outspeed. I always am able to get Shadow Sneak off. And we're going to go for... I guess we're also going to target down the Palafin, because if the Palafin stays in, it goes down. And if not, I target the Pelipper, which I think Pelipper is a more of a bigger threat right now, but we'll see. Pelipper going to come in with the Shadow Sneak plus the Dragon move. If the Arcanine's offensive, I'm actually in a lot of trouble though. Let's see. Okay, so they just go for Flare Blitz, which is fine. They're not threatening Mimikyu in the rain. But I am susceptible to Jet Punch, but this attack should not put the Pelipper into range yet, or should not knock out Pelipper, and then we still have Tailwind, yeah. So I think we're fine. We can go for a Shadow Sneak in the Pelipper. We can go for another one into the Arcanine. Rain turns are also wearing down. This might be the last turn if this isn't Damp Rock Pelipper. I always Shadow Sneak the Pelipper because the Arcanine can't threaten a knockout here, and I still get a lot of damage. Palafin could risk the switch in, but I don't think it really should want to. Pelipper can protect, but I still threaten the Arcanine heavily here, and they can't pick up a knock. Oh, they have Helping Hand. Okay. Dang, Helping Hand Choice Band. That is really a lot of damage right there. Chastity going to come out in the Pelipper. Oh, it didn't pick up the knockout. Actually, I might have messed up on that then. Okay, they go for Flare Blitz though. They are going to target down the Mimikyu. It doesn't KO the Mimikyu though, so that actually is really bad for them. Because I'm able to get the Glaive Rush off into the Arcanine, and they're in Shadow Sneak range now. And the Extreme Speed does not affect my Mimikyu, so now I can just Shadow Sneak the Arcanine. I live the Life Orb Pit, and I can go for Ice Shard and the Pelipper. I really thought that the Shadow Sneak would have KO'd the Pelipper based on the damage, but it is Damp Rock Pelipper confirmed, so it does have bulk probably. We are going to go for an Ice Shard and a Pelipper. We're going to go for a Shadow Sneak into the Arcanine. I mean, the game is not sealed. Yeah, Pelipper can protect if it has protect, and then Palafin gets one more turn of rain. So it's definitely not an over game by far. And I also am now wondering if my Shadow Sneak calcs are actually like a bit off, because now I might not be able to KO the Palafin. They're going to retreat the Pelipper. They're going to go back into the Palafin, which makes sense here. But that Ice Shard damage might just put this in range. They also protect the Arcanine, which works out for me. Yeah, that works out for me. Go for the Shadow Sneak into the protect of the Arcanine. I think it depends on just how fast this Palafin is. I also think it probably has bulk. Like, I really want to say it has bulk. So I think I'm just going to I'm going to double up the Palafin slot with Shadow Sneak into Ice Shard. Should always allow me to get the KO into the Palafin here. And also, like, the Palafin has to have a lot of speed here. I wouldn't be surprised if it's a bulky Palafin with Jet Punch, like Choice Band Jet Punch in the rain. But let's see here. I am going to go for a Shadow Sneak. If they are faster than my Mimikyu, I guess I do lose. But then I would have to EQ. And then I don't even think that's like super ideal either. So let's find out. They are going to go for the Pelipper swap, so they won't have rain anymore. So Weapons is still going to hurt a lot in the upcoming turns. All right, I am fast. I do get the Shadow Sneak off into Palafin. I don't KO, which is concerning. I don't know what the Ice Shard is. That looks really close. Oh my goodness, that was so close. They Jet Punch instead. Okay. That is really weird, actually. Rain stops, so the Arcanine doesn't have... Okay. This is a really weird situation. We have a Soul Vest. I feel like we should be able to live Hurricanes. I'm going to go for an Ice Shard into the Palafin here. We were faster than the Palafin, confirmed. Oh boy, I'm a bit worried about how much damage like Extreme Speed Mind Games are going to play. I also got to play a Protect Mind Game, I think, against the Arcanine, so... Oh, the damage output, even with the max attacks, kind of not enough. A little bit shocked here, but let's find out. I think I would have had to probably Earthquake. Yeah, I would have had to make sure I got the KO on Palafin, but I just wasn't sure. I really thought that the double up would have been enough, but let's see. Palafin gonna retreat into Arcanine. Isn't that how you guarantee lose the game? Unless Arcanine survives the Ice Shard at this range, which maybe it does at this range. We'll find out. Gonna go for the Ice Shard into the Arcanine. It's Not enough. Tailwind gonna come out, which makes sense. Okay. Man, I actually want like bulk on the... I want bulk right now. I think I have to prey on Pelipper missing. So this is between protect on the Arcanine or helping hands attack from the Pelipper with the Arcanine, maybe extreme speed here. But I think if that's the case, I probably lose anyway. And if they protect, I just gotta hope Pelipper misses attacks, which I think is okay as a win con. We go for the Ice Shard. We're gonna fail. I could have Ice Sharded. If I Ice Sharded, I think I did win though. That's the unfortunate part. They hit the Hurricane. Yeah, I think. Oh, actually, that didn't do nearly as much as I thought it would. But does the Arcanine have extreme speed? I feel like you gotta have extreme speed. I feel like there's no way this is an extreme speed here. Yeah. I need another Pelipper dodge. I do KO the Arcanine finally. Both Pokemon are in range of Ice Shard now. Oh, this is a wrap. U-turn 2. So that Pelipper didn't have Protect at all. I could have just Freeze Dried, and it was also Damp Rock. So if I did, I could have just went for the Freeze Dry instead of the like the Protect Ice Shard play, which ended up being really bad for me. Because now they should be able to win the game with Helping Hand Jet Punch. Or Jet Punch. As long as they click Jet Punch, they win. But, yeah, they still have one more turn of Tailwind, so they outspeed now. So unless they mess up heavily, don't click Jet Punch at all. I do win, but they should click Jet Punch. But yeah, my only mistake was just like not knowing that the Pelipper was Damp Rock and not Sash. And I just wasn't sure on that. If I knew that, then I could have just Freeze Dried instead of that wasted turn that I did earlier with the Ice Shard. Because I could have gotten way more momentum otherwise. But yeah. There was also like me miscalculating on a bunch with Shadow Sneak into Ice Shard. Was really thinking I'd get the knock on the Palafin. Because it's Life for Mimikyu. We weren't intimidated either, I'm pretty sure, right? So... it's just like a big shame. All right, let's go over the games. Game 1, Baxcalibur was able to heavily weaken their team and with the right calls was able to knock out the Pokemon around the Bronzong and have Cursed Mimikyu seal the end game. Game 2, there were a few plays I could have tried. Switching bundle out for Mimikyu might not have been bad instead of losing the bundle immediately since it wasn't Mortal Spin and Glamora, which made it harder for them to spread poisons. I also could have went for Play Rough and Close Combat since I read the Garg swap, or just Curse immediately onto the Corviknight in Close Combat the Garg switch in since I did have Max Attack and Annihilape, so I was pretty sure I was getting the 2-hit knockout guaranteed anyway. I just didn't have the best ways to deal with Iron Defense Core quickly in the end, especially with the Toxic Spikes up, so had to deny one of those from being set up early. Game 3, close, but the text they had with the U-turn Pelipper and Choice Band Palafin ended up getting me. I would have needed more aggressive calls like knocking out the Pelipper when it got the Hurricane into my backs, or knocking out the Palafin when I missed the knockouts I thought I would have gotten with the double priority moves and ended up losing Mimikyu in the process. Not my best showcasing, but overall the team I do think had a lot of potential. It's kind of crazy because all these mons that I would normally use like Bulk on, Annihilape, the Baxcalibur, like the ways that was ran differently was just super surprising to me. The games were definitely winnable though, with like one change or two, like one slight adjustment could have affected the entire match, but overall it was very fun to try out. If you do want to try it out yourself, the rental code is on your screen. You can check out the details of the team and the creator down below description, and of course subscribe to the channel for more VGC content as always.